Hi, I'm the Realtor Evan, and I'm here for another week of talk about real estate. So today we're going to discuss the buyer consultation, and this is going to be especially important for those first-time buyers out there, or perhaps you haven't bought a house in a while and you're looking to buy another one, and this is a good refresher of what you can expect during a buyer consultation. The point of the buyer consultation is first and foremost, this may be the first introduction you've had to your agent as the buyer, as the client. And so it's a good opportunity for you guys to get to know each other, for you to establish a rapport, if you haven't already, and for the agent to really explain to you what you can expect throughout the process and how long it might take to get the whole thing done. And most importantly, for you guys to come to an understanding together of what it is that you absolutely must have in that dream home of yours. You should be able to, at the end of the buyer consultation, walk away with the understanding of what your top 5 needs are. Your needs, not your wants, your 5 needs that you must absolutely have in that dream home. Otherwise, there is no chance in anywhere that you will sign on that dotted line at the end of the day that you even want to look at that house. 5 things. Let's dive in. Let's talk about the buyer consultation. Stick around. I hope you like it. And if you do, please give me a thumbs up so that YouTube knows that you like it as well. So the buyer consultation, I like to set up a good 40 minutes to an hour set aside solely for the purpose of discussing our relationship, explaining to my clients what the process of the buying process is, and what they can expect throughout the process. And at the end, we go through a series of questions that helps me to better understand them, what they're looking for in a house, and eventually getting them to those 5 things. So at the onset, I'd like to establish the fact that I'm here exclusively for their needs. This is a process that is all about the buyer as far as I'm concerned. And I want my buyer clients to look back on this process 10, 20, 30 years from now and just to look back on it with good memories, and whatever I can do to tailor that experience for them, I will. And starting with explaining the expectations that they should have, right? I don't want my clients going into this process thinking one thing when in fact it's going to be a whole different process. So we take a look at this onboarding process that goes all the way from the beginning through to the end of the closing and taking possession of the house. It starts all the way from the top where we talk about the buyer's agreement and what that really is and how it protects the buyer clients, confidentiality, provides them with my fiduciary responsibility to the buyers, and goes through all the steps of reviewing the mortgage and loan process, actually searching for a property and how we go about the search, how it will be when we're making an offer on the house, and of course, once we negotiate and finish the negotiations, closing on that house and taking possession of the property. We go through it obviously in a little bit more detail, but that will essentially outline what a client can expect during this buying process. Once we review the process from beginning to end of how the buying process works so that all of the expectations are laid out and everything is understood, I start to go into those questions that I was telling you about earlier. Now, every agent has a different style and approach, but any buyer should expect some general questions followed by some questions about the type of property that they're actually looking for. Some general questions could be anything from, what do you do for work? Do you commute? How big is the family? Why are you looking to move? And most importantly, how quickly are you looking to move? So I usually like to gauge it on a scale of 1 to 10. 10 being, my boxes are packed, I'm ready to move tomorrow. Or 1 being, I'm just kind of feeling out this situation in the market. I'm not really ready to move. I just want to understand what's out there. So this is an important understanding for me as an agent to get from you as the buyer, because it helps me to understand where your mindset is at this point in time. And after understanding some general questions about you and your desire to move, I just try to get a little bit more information about what kind of property it is that you're looking for. So first of all, some general sense questions about the property. Again, not less about you, but more about the property is, what kind of home are you looking for? Are you looking for a single family home? Are you looking for a vacation home? Are you looking for an investment property like a duplex where you can live in part of it and maybe rent out the other part of it? Is, who's going to be living in the house with you? How many kids are you going to be living with? Is there going to be in-laws living in the house? And getting a sense as to what exactly you need from the house, your lifestyle questions. I also want to then get a sense of location. Very important, right? Location, location, location. You've probably heard that a million times, but that is probably the number one aspect of buying a house in real estate is where exactly are you going to buy that real estate? So what neighborhood do you want to be in? What school district do you want to be in? Do you want to be near some restaurants or other community aspects, maybe some retail shops? Maybe you want to be close to where you have to be every day for work. So once we've understood that, so we have the lifestyle questions, we have the location questions, and next we want to get into the style of the house. So preferences. Do you want to have a certain condition of a property? Is the year that it's built going to make a difference to you? Do you want to have a swimming pool in the back? Do you need a space for gardening or a shed or something along those lines? So after we've gotten the preferences down, we also then start to look into your exterior type of desires, right? So what do you want from the exterior? Do you need a garage? Do you maybe just need a carport that's covered? If you have a garage, are you going to want it to be attached? Are you going to want a patio or a balcony? Are you going to want 1 or 2 levels or maybe 3? Are you going to want specific type of siding or an exterior facade of some kind that we should only focus on? And once we get a sense as to how the exterior should look, we can then move into the interior and understand what you're going to need from a perspective of being inside the house. How many bedrooms are you going to need? How many bathrooms are you going to need? What are you going to need from a sense of how should the kitchen be performing or functioning? What's the layout, essentially? Do you like an open floor plan, lots of natural light? Maybe that doesn't matter so much to you. Are you going to need a living room and a dining room and a family room? Or maybe you just need, 1 or 2 of those things. So we have an understanding now of your lifestyle situation, your location, your preferences of the house, the exterior questions, the interior questions. So we have, full understanding of what it is that you want from this house. Now, as your agent is asking all these questions of you, please be sure to also address the facts and the points of what you do not want in the house too. It's just as important to be clear on what you want as it is to be clear on what you do not want, so that the agent can avoid sending you listings that you have no interest in looking at. And now, after answering all these questions, perhaps some of them you will have already prepared in your mind beforehand, which is a great idea because sometimes when we're thinking on the spot, we don't always think about everything that we actually want. And in some very rare cases, if these answers are too vague and too general, we might actually have to redo this buyer consultation again in a later date because we haven't really been able to find your ideal property. I've been sending you the properties based on what we've discussed here, but none of them are really hitting home with you. So now we have to redo this and get very specific, because after answering all these questions, we should be able to uncover what it is that are your 5 absolute needs, your 5 must-haves in this house. And from there, I usually like to ask them, okay, but if you can add in one more thing that would make this home perfect, what would that one extra thing be? So now I sort of have the 5 needs and 6 nice to have. And I said, if there's one last thing that you can add in that would absolutely make it your dream home to have, what would that last final thing be? And now I have their 5 needs and nice to have, and putting it over the top, the killer dream house for them. So if I can hit all 7 of those points, I know as an agent, I did a good job by my clients. And that should make every buyer happy, right? Like that you go into this meeting, you set aside that time, 40 minutes to an hour, not that much of your day, and you talk about exactly what it is that you want that'll make this search so much easier for you and for the agent. And it'll be a process where you can look back on and be really happy about. If you have any questions about this process at all, I'm always available for questions by email, therealtorevan@gmail, or you can comment below and I'll be sure to answer your questions there. As always, if you like the content, please give me the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. That'd be really great too. And I hope to see you next time. I'm the Realtor Evan, and I hope you have a good day.